Hello, I'm Don Schmidt.
And I'm David Sims, and welcome to Crash Course World History on Quebec, the city, not the province.
Let's get started. Let's go up north to Canada and back to 1608. Samuel de Champlain founded the city of Quebec. This is after previous failed attempts to settle Canada at Stadacona by Jacques Carter. Samuel was sent to found a permanent post in the New World, Uxbridge in Quebec, which soon became a trading post at the top of St. Charles River, precisely at 46.8139 degrees north and 71.2080 degrees west. It's a strategic location secured its position as capital of New France in 1663.
I think now would be a good time to cut in and explain some things. First off, Quebec the city is the capital of the province of the same name. However, before Canada was cut into provinces, the entire territory was known as New France because, surprisingly, it was settled by the French.
Now, an open letter to Jacques Carter. Dear Cartier, I'm sorry to say that in the history of Quebec you are often overlooked in terms of importance to the city. This is because you actually suck at creating permanent posts. Your settlement at Stadacona didn't fall apart once, but twice! Meanwhile, Champlain set up a Quebec City with ease. Why are you so awful? He started off with only 10,000 citizens, but within 30 years, he had twice as many. That's some efficient city building. Yours truly, Don Schmidt.
Speaking of growth, the town slowly began to grow its trade with Europe until about the 1690s. This is the time it had its first heyday, and lasted until the demand of fur undercut the amount of fur produced. They would experience an economic decline until America began its independence in the 1700s. The war forced Britain to trade through the port city of Quebec, which led to its second heyday. They experienced a third and final boom from the late 17th into the early 1800s. During this time, Britain required the forest products that Canada was able to produce, and it also acted as a landing spot for immigrants to the New World. Soon, however, the city of Montreal became the capital city for trade. Today, Quebec is a popular tourist spot and used partially for transatlantic shipping. And while most believe that it's always been a French city, this is not the case. It was handed over to the British in 1629. However, this was quickly remedied by the Treaty of Saint-Germain-en-Laye, which returned it to the French. It wasn't the last time England would try to take the city, though. The French's defenses were tried again in the First Battle of Quebec in the 1690s, in which the British attempted to take the city by force. The British attacked Quebec. In this occurrence, though, the British lost and the French were able to hold the city. The Expedition of Quebec, another attempt to capture the city which failed, took place in 1711. The second battle took place in 1755 when American fighting for their freedom attacked the city.
Quebec was established as a city in 1608. It was, however, not religiously significant. The dominant religion was Catholic Christianity. However, later on, Protestant and Roman Catholicism became prevalent in society. Many people in colonial Canada and Quebec were Huguenots, or people who believed in Calvinism. The principles of Calvinism spelled the acronym TULIP: total inability, unconditional election, limited atonement, irresistible grace, and perseverance of saints. After British invasion in 1763, the religion changed to Protestant from Huguenots. Many of the people in Quebec were Protestant, but there was also a considerable amount of Presbyterians, Anglicans, and Lutherans. People of Quebec were mostly Christians. About 70% of them believed in God or believed in some organized religion. About 43% of people were Roman Catholics, and about 23% of people were Protestants. And another 4% identified themselves with another form of Christianity. Within Protestantism, about 9.5% identify themselves with the United Church of Canada, about 6.8% to the Anglican Church, 2.4% with the Baptist Church, and 2% with the Lutheran Church. Now let's come back to today. Quebec today is the only city in Canada to have a francophone, or a majority French-speaking population. The ethnic composition of Quebec is 60% Canadian, 28% French, and 5.5% Irish.
In conclusion, the city of Quebec was an export city of forest products and an important place for immigrants. Its strategic location at the top of the St. Charles River allowed it to prosper. Major events were the founding of the city in 1608, the First Battle of Quebec in 1690, the Expedition of Quebec in 1711, and the Second Battle of Quebec in 1775. Quebec had a varied religious background, ending with about 43% of the city being Roman Catholic.
This has been a crash course on Quebec. Thank you for watching.